You're going to be the. So we are recording consensually with our guest here. Recording is active, and we'll post her on every Instagram page, Facebook page we have, WhatsApps, all over the place. All right, let's get rolling. So we're talking mindless crypto, right?
Yeah.
What is mindless crypto? Let's assume you know nothing about it. Mindless crypto is a way of our tagline is, I think, exemplifies what it is. It's crypto gains without the brains, right? You get into crypto, we make money together, and you don't really have to think about it, know about it. A lot of people want to get into crypto. It's the hot thing now, but they don't really get it. How does it work? What do I do? And a lot of people are making the mistake, I think, and the company, my LLC thinks as a team, that it's a mistake to take your hard-earned dollars and buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other crypto with it. And instead, what we think is wise to do is to create crypto sort of out of thin air. It's not really out of thin air. We're doing work essentially, and we're getting paid for it, and we're splitting the revenue for that work. It's very straightforward, very easy, very simple business model and financial model. You can explain it to a 5-year-old in like 3 minutes. Basically, we recommend to you sign up on our portal, Mindless Crypto. We recommend to you which laptop we think are good values for you as an individual, and I'll explain why laptops. Sorry.
Who's we?
I like to refer to myself in the third person a lot. So it's like the pronouns. It's the new pronouns. My preferred pronoun is we and they. So we'll just stick with that. No, I mean it's we're ramping up. There is already a small team. The team is going to get much larger, B'ezras Hashem. So I'm very excited about it. I am the founder and the lead, both on the business notion and idea side, the concept of the business, and also on developing the tech side of, it's going to be pretty magical once you're on the platform, on the portal, to see like your pot, how many we call it rigs, like how many laptops or rigs are in your pot with us, and where it's at, and what's the balance, and what it's producing, and what was the last payout date, and everything is very very professional, very security oriented. Like when you sign up, or when you change your password, or when you change your Bitcoin payout address, you'll get an email saying, did you make this change? If not, we have an issue. So it's not like fly by night kind of thing. This is going to be, it's already very, I'm very humbled by the fact that we launched like 2 weeks ago, and it's already like producing lots of revenue for people. A lot of people in the community are in it, out of the community in it. Like people are very excited about it. You'll hear, without getting into details yet, you'll hear people that are excited about also sort of like being evangelicals for Mindless, because they believe in it, so they want to promote it and stuff like that. So there's a lot of exciting things happening, and so yeah, it's like, again, like I said, we recommend, for better or for worse, recommend certain laptops for you to buy, because it's in your best interest, we feel, is to get those laptops. You can get any laptop you want if you have a spare. It doesn't have to be, we're not selling you laptops, right? We're telling you, go to Costco and buy these 2 laptops because it's Black Friday sale, for example. It's a good value, or it's a good GPU. The GPU is the graphical processor, and that's what Bitcoin or any crypto mining utilizes, the GPU, not so much the CPU, but the GPU, the graphical card, to do the mining. So we try to find, good fits for our platform that do well with our algorithm. But really, any machine with a good GPU is going to do very well with us and for us. And that's it. You get those laptops. Again, like I said, if people want to be like, they think it's a scam. So, we tell them it's very easy. Go to Costco and buy 2 laptops, 4 laptops. Let's limit 2, but you can keep buying, with friends or yourself. It doesn't go on your membership. Buy 2 laptops or buy 20. Give it to us, lend it to us. Giving it to us on memo, essentially. You take the laptop back whenever you want, and we put it to work and see what happens in the first 30 days, 60 days. And then on day 89, decide whether you return it to Costco at literally no risk, right? Costco, you'll give you all your money back and kiss you and hug you and tell you, thank you very much for using us. And then during those 3 months, you still made a lot of money with us. And for whatever reason you decided to stop, that's totally fine. But you still made a lot of money because you're getting payouts every single month based on the revenue share of whatever revenue is generated from that mining effort or the work effort that we utilize your computers for. And again, completely mindlessly for you, right? You don't have to work. Some people are calling us and saying, oh, what about the electricity? I heard it uses a lot of electricity. Yeah, don't worry about it. Keep it mindless. Give us a laptop. Don't worry about where we put it, how we put it, the electricity, babysitting it, making sure it's optimally, generating the right crypto kind of thing. So we do all that. We take care of all that, and we take a cut, and we share a revenue share with you. And depending on how many rigs or laptops you do, then your share increases in rate. That's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward. Any questions thus far before I screen share and show you some numbers?
No, my questions are only about the numbers.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm going to screen share. I don't know if I sent you this, but I'll assume I didn't. I'll screen share and we can talk through it together. I think this is what I want to share. Let's see. Hopefully it's not something. Okay.
Yeah, you showed them.
All right. So, I mean, you may have seen different numbers, something that looks similar, but basically this is, this is more or less the structure of, what we have. It's pretty straightforward to explain. So I'll go with this. You notice on the bottom here, there's projections 3080, ORIS 15P. This one says projections 3060, projections 3090. On the very bottom, the names of the tabs. Do you see that, or it's cut off? This one where my mouse is. You see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so projections 3080 and then projections 3060, projections 3090. Those 3080, 3060, that's the model of the GPU that is inside these laptops. Okay, it's an NVIDIA is one of the largest companies that makes GPUs. NVIDIA is very popular. So the NVIDIA 3080 lives inside this particular laptop called the ORIS 15P. And the ORIS 15P is actually, it's performing right now. It's one of our rigs, right? That other Masharis actually have live with us. So we have actual performance numbers based on, historical performance. This machine cost, at the time when we recommended it, cost $19.99 in Best Buy. I don't know what it's up to now, if it's up or down. It costs $19.99. So this is where the numbers come from. So the rig, when you see the word rig, that's just a synonym for laptop. Okay. And this rig or laptop costs $2,000. After tax is $2,176. Stop me anytime, because I'm going to just run through these very quickly. This $2,176 is a cost per rig. So we bring that up here for a single rig. You see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
One rig. One rig is $2,176. Two is double that, triple that, quadruple. It just goes down, right? Okay, so we're just going to assume you're doing one rig and how that looks, how that behaves. So one laptop costs you this much. At the very end of year one, which is this whole yellow section, is year one. Okay.
Yeah.
Ignore the break even for a second. Your base, which was, on day one of year one, was $2,176 because that's what you paid for the laptop. At the end of year one, we're depreciating that by 10%. It's worth now only $1,977, right? Because depreciated 10%.
Over a year?
Over the course of the year. Now, laptops, actually, these powerful laptops are, believe it or not depreciating 10% per year. They're preserving their values almost 1-to-1. If you would have bought this laptop a year ago, you'd probably sell it today used for as much as you paid for it, because they're very rare. Maybe a couple of bucks less than what you paid for it, but they're very rare, and so they're preserving their values pretty amazingly. Very different. Sorry.
Where do you sell used laptops?
You could sell them on eBay, you could sell them anywhere. It's plenty of money, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, whatever. And you could. They also have intrinsic value, right? A lot of people are mining using what they call these like industrial rigs, which they buy just GPUs and GPUs, like one sort of like a server that has many GPUs in it. They pay through the nose for GPUs because GPUs are very expensive today because of low supply and very high demand. And then in a year or 2 years, those GPUs are going to be worth maybe half the price or a third of the price. So if we recommend it to you, so-and-so or anyone else that's doing this with us, buy GPUs, these powerful GPUs that cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 each, and they produce much more than these laptops, true. So it's better for us, it's easier for us, right? Because there's overhead with onboarding any one of these, maintaining any one of these, right? It's more work for us, but it's not beneficial to you, because at the end of the year, that GPU, when it loses half its value, now we really stuck it to you, right? Because we're taking a share of the things it's producing. We don't own the rig, right? You own the asset, and we're giving you back the asset anytime you want. But you end up losing a lot of money on the value of the asset. So we don't feel that that's fair to you or anyone else. That's why we're recommending laptops. These laptops are preserving their value, number one, and number two, they have intrinsic value. So you can gift that to someone in a year, they'll kiss you and hug you because it's a very powerful machine, right? It's awesome for gaming and for video editing and for anything else that you would want. So you give this to your child as a gift. You give it to a coworker. You could use it in your business. It's a useful tool. It's an asset that's useful and has intrinsic value. Is the point. As opposed to, if we were doing this with these rigs, you have the rigs are paperweights for you. They're not useful. And so that's why we're recommending these laptops, and why these laptops, we sort of preserve your interest as far as the value of the asset. But we're still giving you, just to be conservative, we're giving a 10-year, year over year, it loses 10% every year. So year one, end of year one is 1977. Year two, it'll lose another 10% and another 10%, so forth. Okay, so far so good?
Yeah.
Okay, but at the end of year one, we're going to produce, I'm going to go down to the bottom of the sheet again for a second. This particular laptop or rig that costs this much produces daily this much Bitcoin. Okay, the amount it produces has to do with several factors, but it's mainly has to do with the power of the GPU that's in the laptop. It's producing this much Bitcoin, where at the value that was on November 26th of Bitcoin 55,000, it's gone down since then a little bit. At this value, that's translating to $5.85, which annually translates
a day,
to
you said?
per day gross, yes, per day. Which translates to this much per month and this much per year. So per year, it's $21.35 per year. When we go back up on the spreadsheet, now 30% revenue share for you per year translates to $640. So if you take 21.35, 30% of that is going to be 640, and that's how you get your revenue for that year. 30% revenue share of the total revenue in that pot for that one laptop, sort of like the pot that you're doing this stuff together with us.
Yeah, but you're not counting the cost of the laptop.
No, it's not yet. So we're going to take that 640 and we're going to add that to the year one depreciated cost, or value rather, right? The 640 plus the 1977 comes out to 2617. Do you see that? No, I lost you.
I didn't even mean that. I meant subtract it from the cost of the laptop.
Subtract the cost of the laptop from the 640, you mean?
Yeah, because you're spending, let's say, $2,000 and you're making 600. That's the only part I don't get.
That is what that's actually what we're doing. We're actually doing that. So here, take 640, subtract the cost of the laptop that you paid for 2176, right? So right. Yeah. That's what you're saying, right? But then we're going to add
1,400.
But we're going to add to it 1977 because your laptop's still worth 1977 at the end of year one, right?
Okay.
It comes out to 2617.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't come out to 2617. There's going to be a differential, but that's in your end of year one return. So we take this number divided by your original base, comes out to 20% return on investment. You put in this much. At the end of year one, you have this much. The reason you have this much is because you had $640 in revenue plus the value of your asset is 1977. Together comes out to 2617 divided by your original purchase or your base. Yeah, is 20% return on investment.
If you sold the laptop at the end of year one.
If you sold the laptop or you used it to the, it has this much value. What you do with it is up to you. It's your laptop, right? You could, it's with us. You could recall it at any time, by the way. It's not like a real estate investment where it's locked up for 5 years.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, cut you off. But
I'm just, it doesn't, whatever, I get it. You don't actually make that much money because unless you sell your laptop.
Yeah. So, okay, let's use an analogy. Are you comfortable with like a real estate analogy?
Sure.
Okay. You buy a building that costs you $2,176, okay? And during the course of the year, you're going to produce rents worth of $640 during the course of that year, right? Because you have tenants that are renting from you and they're paying you rent $640. There happens to be, you're not maintaining your building very well. So at the end of the first year, that building is no longer worth what you paid for it, $2,176. It's only worth $1,977 because you didn't maintain it, right? But you still made $640 of revenue of rental income, right? So if we take the value of the building is worth something, right? It's worth $1,977 at the end of year one, right? Because it depreciated 10%. And then you add to it the rental income that you had, $640. At the end of year one, you have $2,617 worth of value, right? because your building is
Yeah.
worth something. It's not like putsch. It's not nothing, right? It's worth
Yeah,
something.
I understand the concept. I'm
It
just
has it has
saying.
market value. So at the end of year one, it's worth it's worth that much money, which is 20% on investment. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You're
Okay.
saying the laptop is not worth, like it's only worth it
No,
when
I'm
you sell
saying,
it? Is that what
yeah,
you're saying? Yeah, but the building is also only worth when you sell it, right? The building as of the value of their real estate. What is the value of the real estate? The value of the real estate is when you sell it, right?
right,
The other value is the income it brings from the rentals.
right.
Same exact thing here. Same exact
Okay.
thing here. When you sell that building, you'll hopefully sell it for 1977, right? And you still would have made all this money through years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however long you hold that real estate. So then that just translates, 1 for 1 in years 2 and 3. We don't do any kind of accrual or any kind of fancy math or financial calculations. Basically, at the end of year 2, you would have depreciated, an additional 10%. You're going to have double the revenue share, right? Because this is aggregated. So your total revenue share is, instead of 640, is double. It's 1281. Your total value now is 1281 plus the value of the laptop at the end of year 2. This plus this comes up to 3,000 and change. Total return, aggregate return, is 40% on your money, and same thing for year 3, 60% on your money. And that is the end of the story. The only other part is that when you increase from rigs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you increase your revenue share, we incentivize you to do more rigs, because the more rigs you do, the easier it is for us to manage one person doing 40 rigs than it is 40 people doing 1 rig each. It's just a lot of overhead for us to onboard you and maintain you and have a relationship and all that good stuff, and customer servicing 40 versus 1 and so forth. So we incentivize, as you add rigs, you get more of a revenue share for all the rigs, right? So if you go, instead of starting with 1 laptop, you start with, let's say, 10 laptops, you'd have a 32.8% revenue share instead of the 30%, which just translates to high, and this is for all the laptops, right, across the board, which translates to higher returns. You get more payouts every month, translates to more of a return on investment, because your base is the same. Basically, you're not doing anything else or more. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay, so here's my question.
You can have as many questions as you want. They're free. No Bitcoin necessary.
What's the first of all, that the rate at the bottom is hypothetical, right?
This rate of production?
It's the current rate on November, whatever the date was.
No. This number here, that's the rate of how much Bitcoin this rig produces per day. That's not dependent on the price of Bitcoin. It's going to produce that regardless. It's not standard. It has other things that it sort of intertwines with, but and long term this will actually decline, because as for example, for Bitcoin, different cryptos have different algorithms. But for Bitcoin, as time goes by, it gets harder to mine. It gets harder and harder to mine Bitcoin. But we're talking about very long term, and not like on a daily kind of thing. We're talking about years out. So this number is basically is most directly affected by the power, your horsepower under the hood of the rig, right? What kind of GPU it has, and what kind of GPU it has translates to how many millions of calculations it could do per second. It's called mega hash, what mega hash can produce per second. And that translates to how much Bitcoin it produces. Then what value that is, what dollar value that is based on the exchange, right? So on this day, one Bitcoin was 55,556. And that means that this much produced this much, but if Bitcoin doubles, then it'll be $10 and $11 and change.
What's the highest it's been?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's been in the 60s. I don't know.
And lowest?
Lowest, when it started off, it was pennies. There's a famous story that a guy paid for his pizza with Bitcoin. You know the story?
No.
A guy paid for his Bitcoin, his pizza, like a pie pizza, literal pie pizza with Bitcoin in the very beginning of Bitcoin. And now the whole world refers to it as like the stupidest thing ever done, because if you take by today's value of Bitcoin, you end up paying like $30 million for the box of pizza. Literally.
Oh my God.
Paid $30 million for a pie pizza.
That's funny.
So all-time high of Bitcoin was 64,800. So it was in the 60s, like I thought. People, listen, people are getting into this. They're very excited about mindless crypto first for a couple of reasons. One is you have to recognize that we're basically, the analogy is like if I told you, listen, you can buy, let's say you believe in Apple stock, right? You could go take your hard-earned dollars today and buy one share of Apple, right? And hope that it goes up, that you're doing it because you hope it goes up, right? But it could also, yeah, a stock, one share of Apple, correct. It could go up, it could go down. But what if I told you, instead of taking your hard-earned dollars, don't buy Apple shares. Take your hard-earned dollars and let's have like some machine that churns out Apple shares, right? Or some process that churns them out. And here, every month you get you'll get like half a share of Apple or one share of Apple every month, month after month after month, right? That's essentially what we're talking about here. So you're not taking your money and you're like gambling, if you will. You're not playing the foreign exchange markets, right? Essentially, people that have no idea what foreign exchange is, they've not done Forex at all. They're taking US dollar, they're converting it to Bitcoin, then they're doing Ethereum, then it goes down, they sell, they lost a lot of money. I'm not encouraging any of that. You could do that if you want to. All we're saying is, lend us your laptop, take your money, buy laptops with it, lend them to us, take them back whenever you want, right? They're on memo. And in the interim, we're going to produce, we're going to be every day while you're sleeping, while you're dancing, while you're laughing, while you're crying, while you're Shabbat, whatever it is, these things are just running. They're running and they're producing and they're producing and they're producing mindlessly and effortlessly for you, a little bit more effort for us. And
I understand.
passively, right?
Is there any risk involved, like the stock market?
There's risk in everything. Yeah.
I know, but that rate would drop to pennies again or anything?
So there are risks in anything. I believe, the risks are very small. I'm very comfortable taking my mom's life savings, for example, and putting it here, because I believe that the risks are very, very minimal, especially when you take, the paradigm of, try it, do a beta test by going to Costco, buying laptops and try it for 3 months. And then you decide, right? You decide if this works for you or not. But there are risks. The risks are, some of them are spelled out on our website. Some of them are here. The price fluctuations of Bitcoin, Ethereum. How do you mitigate that? All these risks can be mitigated, right? How do you mitigate that? If you don't believe that Bitcoin is going to maintain its value, so when you get your monthly payout, take that Bitcoin and do something with it, right? You could either take that and buy things on Amazon with it. You could take it and convert it to US dollars on your account on Coinbase. Once it hits your account, your wallet rather, you could do whatever you want with it. You could buy Chanel bags with it, right? Bitcoin is legal. In some countries, it's not considered legal tender, but it's effectively, you could trade it for anything. It's real. People consider it as real.
I don't know much about Bitcoin, but when it's in your wallet, does it still change rates, like what it's worth in US dollars?
Yeah, I mean, once it's in your wallet, you have that much Bitcoin. So let's assume you have one Bitcoin in your wallet, right? Which is a lot, right? It's $55,000 or $50,000. So, but let's assume for argument's sake, you have one Bitcoin in your wallet. What that one Bitcoin is worth obviously fluctuates because the price of Bitcoin fluctuates, right? So today you could worth, if today Bitcoin is worth $50,000, you could buy a Tesla with it. 10 years ago, you couldn't buy a Tesla with it. You could buy a pie pizza with it, with that one Bitcoin, right? You would kill you would shoot yourself.
It's like a stock.
It's currency. It's currency, and currency changes value and based on what its buying power is. So today's buying power, you could buy one Chanel bag with one Bitcoin. Tomorrow, maybe you could buy 50 Chanel bags with it because the price increase or decrease. But again, you can mitigate out of that risk very easily by taking the Bitcoin if you don't believe Bitcoin is going to preserve its value, and you can exit Bitcoin. You can convert that to something else. You can convert it to US dollars. You can convert it to, we have people that are taking their Bitcoins. They don't believe in Bitcoin so much. They believe more in Ethereum. So they take the Bitcoins they're getting from our monthly payouts and they're buying Ethereum with it. We have others that are buying US dollars with it. And like I said, we have others that are buying Chanel bags for their wives with it. So what you do with it, it's just like saying, Andy, what should I do with, the paycheck I just got? What can I do with it? You can do anything you want with it. Once it's in your wallet, it's in your wallet. You do whatever you want with it. It's not, we're not even in that space, right? We're not going to tell you do this or do that or don't do that. We don't care what you do with it. We're not going to advise you what to do with it. It's yours to figure out. It's currency, cryptocurrency, that's yours. Then the other risks that you have is, what happens to if your rig or your laptops depreciate? Oh, Andy, that's not true. It's not going to depreciate on 10%. It's going to depreciate 50%. Fine. If you don't believe they're going to preserve their value, so exit the laptop every 3 months. Take your laptop, sell it. It's going to be near whatever you paid for it short term, especially these laptops, very near or even more than what you paid for it, depending on how you bought it and when you bought it. And then just repeat the cycle. Buy a new laptop and basically churn your laptops. Okay, so there's ways of mitigating all these risks. And then one of the risks is government regulation of crypto, and it's very unlikely in the United States. Actually, the U.S. government is getting into. If you're following the news, they're getting into crypto, and the SEC wants to, be part of the game. So they're doing certain things with crypto, and there's funds that are being produced now, ETFs, and all these different things that are including cryptocurrencies and stuff. So it's definitely the future. People are it's paradigm shifting, and it's the future, and people want to get in it. And we made it very, very easy and mindless on how to get in it without really investing in upside or downside of Bitcoin, right? Because if you can very easily create an account on Coinbase, for example, and transfer $10,000 of your hard-earned cash dollars to your account there, and then trade, trade like you're trading currencies. You'll buy Bitcoin with your $10,000. But in my mind, that's foolish, because again, you're just playing the markets. Bitcoin goes up, you're happy. Bitcoin goes down, you're depressed, you're selling.
But how is this different than that?
It's different because we're making, like, again, back to my analogy with the Apple shares. You're not betting purely on Bitcoin price fluctuations.
You're not buying Bitcoin, you're earning Bitcoin.
You're making Bitcoin with a partner, correct? Partner in quotes.
The value of the Bitcoin is the same if you make it or you buy it.
Correct. Absolutely correct. But in one scenario, you're sort of making it for free. Obviously, you have a cost, you have a base, right? So it's not for free.
Yeah.
But in the other case, you're just trading it, and you're just at the mercy of the markets. You're not getting those free Bitcoins just for doing some work. So, yeah.
Okay. So my other question is, why do you need people to buy laptops? Why don't you just do it yourself?
First of all, I did do it myself. And it got to the point where we wanted to scale it. My first instinct, actually, when my oldest brother Alan is who got me into this 6 months ago, and he started doing more and more, and I was like, this is not scalable. We need to come up with something that's scalable. And my first notion and thought was, the way it scales is we crowdsource the GPU power, and the way that we're currently crowdsourcing it is exactly that. We're having the world, if you will, go out and buy laptops, because there's so many laptops that I can buy personally at Costco. You know what I mean? But as the crowd source, employing the crowd, we can get a lot more laptops. We can get into the tens of thousands of laptops, as opposed to the handfuls of laptops. That's one answer. The other answer is that just like you want to keep your crypto fund mindless, that's why we're talking. You don't want to deal with managing the rigs and which cryptos to be mining and all this other intricacies. We want to keep it mindless with acquiring the laptops, right? For us, dealing with the asset, and that's not something that we want to be involved in. We actually have had people saying, here's my credit card, buy 10 laptops on my credit card. So the answer is no. We don't want your money. That's not our forte. Our forte is leveraging and utilizing, put these laptops to work for you mindlessly. And conversely, we just want to keep it mindless for us on the other side as well.
Okay.
That's it. As they taught me when I was a kid in Park Lane, when they told us, you remember they used to send us to sell chocolates once a year?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The chocolate for like $20. We had to ring every doorbell. So they told us at the end, after you say this is what we have, the thing you have to ask is, okay, how many would you like? That's what they taught us. So how many rigs would you like?
Okay, so here's my other question. Let's say it's US dollars, it's not Bitcoin, okay? And you're buying one laptop, because I don't have $10,000 to invest. I have a couple thousand. Okay.
Right. What do you mean? Let's say it's US dollars. I didn't get the first part. I got the second part that you're buying one
Let's
laptop.
say it's only US dollars at play. It's not Bitcoin.
Okay. Okay.
I'm saying, let's just talk dollars.
Okay.
You're suggesting that if I spend, let's say $2,000 on a laptop,
Mm-hmm.
after maybe 5 years, I'll break even.
No, it's actually 3.4 years, but okay.
So why is that a smart thing for me to do? That's what I don't get.
Do you have another investment that returns 20% on your money in a way that, in my mind, is almost riskless? That you can get in and out of with a click of a button? Because I've been looking for it for about 35 years of my life, and believe me, I found a few that didn't work that way at all, even though they promised to. I didn't find one. If you find one, I don't think you should do business with us. But if you don't, or maybe you should diversify, do some there and do some with us and see which one tastes better. I haven't come across a investment vehicle that that shows you you'll see this not behind the scenes on a black box somewhere in 5 years. We're going to buy this building, we're going to demolish it, and we're going to make a beautiful mall with a residential underneath, and the rent rolls are going to be blah 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 blah, and in 5 years or 10 years you'll see your money. I'm not saying that. I'm saying try it and see what happens in the next month or two, and if it doesn't work for you, then stop.
See what's going to happen. I see the numbers.
Maybe
I'm saying even if all your numbers are accurate, I don't make any money until year 4.
What do you mean you don't make any? You make money the first second that you deliver the laptop to us and it goes live. The
Not
first
really,
second.
though.
Yes, really. The fact that you're not getting, you're looking for 100% return on your investment, meaning you want to recover your entire base. What kind of investment does that? Right now, when let's say you put money in the bank, right? And you say, guys, give me the best rate you got. You're going to get 0.5%, right? Let's assume it's 10%. You found it, and then,
But I'm not
hard money loan.
I'm not spending money to do that.
What do you mean? Let's say you give a hard money loan
to open a bank account.
Hold on a second. Let's say you give a hard money loan to somebody, right? A hard money loan gives much higher yields usually. So let's say it's 10%. So you give somebody $2,000. Let's call this 2,000 to make it round and even. You give somebody $2,000, and the deal is it's a loan. They're going to pay you 10% per year on that money, right? Right. So far, so good. And at the end of, let's say it's a 3-year loan. At the end of 3 years, they're going to return the principal. Okay, so you're earning interest at 10% per annum. And then at the end of 3 years, you're going to get your principal back as well, right?
Uh-huh.
Are you going to come and say, wait a minute, where's I gave you $2,000. I was expecting to make, at the end of 3 years, I was expecting to get $2,000 back plus my interest. You're not going to say that. You're going to say, this was awesome. I made 10% return on my investment, right? I made 10% per year in interest, $200 per year. And at the end of 3 years, I also got my $2,000 back. Altogether, I made $2,600 altogether. I netted $600, which turns out to be about whatever, 60%, or whatever it comes out. After 3 years. After 1 year, it's 10%.
Right.
Okay, so here we're saying, yes, it's about 20% based on a lot of things. It could be 25% tomorrow based on the price of crypto fluctuations. It could be 18%. This sheet probably, if I would generate this sheet for you on Black Friday, you paid maybe 30% less for your rigs if you took the opportunity and did that. So these returns will go up to 26%. But yeah, those are, I think, extremely impressive numbers. I'm telling you, if you would have shown me these numbers 10 years ago, 20 years ago, anytime during the last 20 years, and I would have seen the fact that the risks that are involved are really negligible. And again, you don't take my word for it. Do your own homework, right? I believe, as the founder of this company, I believe that the risks are very, very minimal. And the risks that we know, we're very transparent with everything in the business, with the risks, with what we're doing, how we're doing. We believe these are the risks. We believe this is how you mitigate the risks. But you got to do your own homework. And if you believe, no, this is nonsense, the risk is Andy's a thief, he's a crook. And when I buy my laptops and I give it to him, his plan is to take my laptops and go to the Cayman Islands and vacation with these laptops, and I'm never going to see them again. So that's a much higher risk in your mind, right? And you shouldn't do this transaction. But if you see the risks that we're presenting and you trust the company or the founder of the company, and you think that, yeah, they're not, it's not a pyramid. We had some people saying, oh, this is a pyramid scam. It's not a scam. Listen, yeah. It sounds maybe a little bit too good to be true for some people, but it's not too good to be true because it's actually running right now. It's actually, as we speak, your peers have done this and they're earning money as we speak, right? It's constantly producing and we're paying out once a month and people are very happy to be mindless about it and earn money passively about it. End of story.
So hypothetically, I can't just pay you $2,000 and you invest it in this?
Nope.
Because this whole thing rides on the fact that I could sell the laptop after 3 years.
No, it doesn't. It rides on the fact that the laptop has value after X number of years.
But are you sure about that?
No, I'm not sure. Am I sure it has value? That I'm sure about. Yes. You know why? Because you could take the laptop and use it. Is that value or not? Is there value in you taking this laptop? Here, I bought this laptop from Costco. You see this laptop? It cost me $2,200. I bought it for myself as a birthday gift. Okay. In 1 year, will it have value? Of course it will have value. It's a killer laptop. See what it does. It's going to have value. So if it has value for me, it's going to have value for you too. If it has value for the two of us, it has value for some schmo or 1,000 schmoes on eBay. It has value. It's an asset that has value, period. End of story. You can say, let's argue now about how much value does it have. Does it really have temporal? Will it preserve its value, 90% of its value? No, Andy, I believe it's going to preserve only 85% of its value. Fine. So we'll redo this model based on 85%, on 15% depreciation instead of 10%, right? That you can argue, and I'm not going to argue with you because I'll have no way of arguing with you. I won't be able to tell you, oh, no, you're wrong. It's for sure going to be maximum 10% depreciation. But you can't come and say it has no value at the end of year one. That's just being untruthful,
How much is a laptop now?
The laptop now is whatever is out there. I don't know what's out there. We're recommending, the last recommendation was this guy actually, but do you see the screen, what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. So this laptop that I just showed you actually, this laptop that I just showed you, I bought it for $2,000 just like during Black Friday. So now, you're paying another $300, so you're paying a little bit more than 10% for it. So that means your returns diminish. But this machine is still going to produce. This is going to beat any other investment opportunity that's out there by far, even based on this kind of pricing. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's a no-brainer. I don't know. For others, it's like, oh, let me think about it. But for me, it's a no-brainer. You could order 2 of these today. It's limit 2 per customer, I believe, online. But order it online, you get it. You don't have to even leave you can do this in your pajamas. You get this machine, you deliver the machine, you lend it to us whenever you want, you take it back, and you can return it to Costco. Costco, it's 90-day, no questions asked, return. Try it. Don't believe anything I say, try it. And then decide, you know what? On day 80, go on eBay and try to sell it and see what the value is on day 80 and decide by 90 days, you could return it. It's that simple. There's no, there is zero risk to that. Again, the only risk is if I take your laptops and I run off with them. If you believe that's the case, don't do it. If you don't believe that's the case, you have nothing to lose. Literally zero risk, because Costco will cover your risk. Costco will take these machines back within 90 days and they'll kiss you for it and they'll thank you for it. End of story. So Costco is sort of like, they're a preferred partner of ours, even though they don't know it yet. We should put a logo on our website, preferred partner, Costco.com.
They'll pay you.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, so that is our story. What other questions can I answer?
Hold on. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um,
Any other questions?
no,
So how many would you like?
One.
Throw chocolate in.
throw in a chocolate,
Yeah, I know, right? Like
a
our
birthday
childhood
chocolate.
days. You could do the one that I think that's still a great value. The one that's I showed you online. I could send you that link. If you want to do it in store with Costco, tell me and I'll find you whatever's in store right now. And or just because in store changes, so you need to be in store to figure out what's there, right?
Is it cheaper in store? I don't have to pay for shipping.
It's only $10 shipping. I mean, that's negligible. So I don't know what they have at the store, to be honest, because it fluctuates like on a daily basis. You know, they run out of these. There's limit to, like I said, on most of them. You just want to make sure that you get a machine that has a GPU that says GPU 3060, 3040, 3050, 3060, 3070, 3080, 3090. You'll see one of those in the description, most likely. And any of those are going to be good to go. It's just a little bit, it'll produce either more or less, but usually the price
Can
of the
I buy
laptop.
one used?
Yeah, sure. Find it used on eBay or anywhere. Yeah. You don't have
So-
to buy we're not trying to get you to buy laptops. You could use
No, I know,
laptops that
but
you have or whatever.
It'll work the same for you?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter?
What matters
If
the
it's
most
old?
is the GPU. Yeah, the GPU. If it's old, most likely it doesn't have one of the newer GPUs. I mean, there's going to be sort of a direct correlation. If it's 5 years old, it's not going to have one of the newer GPUs that produces a lot. They'll probably have an older GPU that produces not so much. So most likely,
Okay,
right?
So WhatsApp me like what I have to search for exactly. So
Yeah.
I know,
No problem.
and some links.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the Costco one that we just looked at, and because that's again a very safe, no-brainer kind of way to try out, test the waters. If you buy one used on eBay, then you're stuck if you're not happy for whatever reason.
I
Right?
can't return it.
Yeah. So yeah, but I'll send you what you could search for. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being part of my silly entertainment here. How I keep myself happy.
Your 30% is non-negotiable?
It's not negotiable, for one laptop, certainly. What I will tell you though is because this is some altruistic spin to it. From our share, has nothing to do with you. Our share, we're gonna have. You could sign up for like a plan, different plans that we're gonna have, and that plan is sort of like doing. Like Amazon Smile, we're going to give basically 10% of our share is going to go to a cause, a worthy cause. Right now, I'm trying to work with the Mashari Tuition Assistance Fund. So 10% of our cut, whatever that cut is, if it's 70%, 60%, whatever it is, 10% of that at every payout the payout will go to them. So that's sort of like a way of knowing that you're hopefully, also doing some good. At the same time, without affecting your own net, you know what I mean? It's like sort of exactly the Amazon Smile model, right?
Can you also be the financial advisor on the side and tell me when
not at
Bitcoin is going up and down and sell and buy?
You know what? I have no clue, and I don't care, and I wouldn't advise you anyway because that's not my forte and my genre. But I have no clue. Why doesn't that
worry you if you invested so much money just on that?
It doesn't worry me at all. I personally believe Bitcoin is going to $500,000 in 2 years. I personally believe that, but I'm probably wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things in life. But I don't care. I don't care if Bitcoin goes up. That's the beauty of it. When I was invested in oil, for example, I was very heavily invested in crude, right? I would be sitting every single second like this, biting my nails, watching what crude was doing because I took my hard-earned life and blood and I invested $500,000 in crude, right? WTI, OIL, all these different crude funds, So, but that was because I was taking my money, I was putting it somewhere, and I was hoping that my money now doubles in value, right? This is very different. This is where it's literally I'm working and getting paid for it. Am I worried now when I get my paycheck, when I go to my job and I get a paycheck, am I worried that the US dollar versus the Israeli shekel is like, oh my goodness, did you see what happened yesterday? The US dollar lost 10% against the shekel. When I go to Israel now, I'm going to be so miserable. I don't think that way. I think I earned $100. Of course it affects me. Of course it affects me. The value of the US dollar doesn't affect me. The fact that I used to spend the $2 buying filling up my per gallon filling up fuel, and now I have to spend $4.50. That doesn't affect me. The fact that the US dollar depreciated in value and there's inflation, of course it affects me. But because I'm not, it wasn't part of a
that's not in your hands.
No,
it's not like you could sell your US dollars because they inflated.
Of course you could sell my US dollars. Of course I could sell my dollars. I can buy Bitcoin with my dollars. I could buy euros with my dollars. I could buy real estate with my dollars. Of course I can. But because I think it's psychological, I think it's more of, I didn't speculatively go and take my money now and put it somewhere speculatively, right? So I think it's the same thing. I think it's, you're doing something and we're working, this computer's working for you and us together, right? And yeah, it's producing, it's awesome. It's passively producing all this revenue. And like, what happens to Bitcoins? That's like a bonus. Like right now it's worth $50,000, what the one Bitcoin this will ultimately generate. But, hopefully that'll go up. It'll be worth $100,000, it'll double. But I'm not like constantly watching it and worried, oh no, it's gonna crash, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go down. Because it's like sort of like, again, purely psychologically, right? Because there's value on both sides. I think that's the reason. But I'm certainly not going to give you any advice on what to do with it.
Is it fully used like currency everywhere? I really don't know anything about it.
You can use it. There's actually companies that you could take your Bitcoin wallet and they'll give you a physical credit card that when you swipe that card, a debit card, it's linked up to your Bitcoin wallet. And it's, you go to Kolbe and you're paying $100 for your meal in US dollars. And they don't know what it is, but it's linked up to your Bitcoin wallet and it's transacting through your wallet. So it's like, even if they want to stop it, this is not something that's stoppable. Blockchain is like the most brilliant innovation, I think, in our modern history.
What's that?
Blockchain is what all these cryptocurrencies, like the technology behind the magic in crypto and Bitcoin and other cryptos. So anyway,
what's the other coin you mentioned?
The other famous one is Ethereum.
What's that?
It's another currency. You could create a Andy coin tomorrow if you wanted to. It's like there's, I think, thousands of cryptos now in the marketplace. Dogecoin and altcoin, all these different altcoins and stuff like that. But the mainstreams are definitely Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we pay out in Bitcoin monthly, and there's real value. There's no, Elon Musk was accepting Bitcoins for Tesla. He changed his mind, but you could buy a Tesla. I don't know what the dynamics were. I think the fact that he said it made like Bitcoin skyrocket, and then the SEC got on his back. And there was like consequences to him just suggesting it and then doing it. I think that was at play, but it shows you like if a company is willing to accept directly Bitcoin to buy a car, then yeah, it's real.
Do I have to pay to have that Coinbase account?
No, it's free. You can create it now without doing anything with us. By the way, you can create it and then link up your bank account to it, send $100 to it, and then transact with it, buy Bitcoin with it, or anything with it.
But that's how you pay?
We pay to any Bitcoin wallet. So if it's on Coinbase or there's like a million other places you can get Bitcoin wallets very easily. No fees. There are fees to transfer the funds, but that's also part of the mindless package. So you don't have to worry about it. We have to eat the fees. So yeah, it's nothing that
for you to pay me? No, to cash it out.
Depending on who you use, how you use, there's a lot of different providers and stuff that you would have to just look up yourself. But yeah, depending on how you use it, where you use it, there'll either be no fees or yes fees or, somewhere in the middle.
I don't even know where to look. So just tell me what
the most popular one is Coinbase. It's very legit. It's like they verify you, that you are like who PayPal? You are. Yeah, it's like it's a large company, US based.
PayPal doesn't have a Bitcoin wallet.
They have they're doing, I think, Bitcoin trading, but I don't know if they have an actual wallet that you could use. I didn't see it. Okay. But Coinbase is very popular. It's like very legit company. They'll ask you for your ID and they'll verify your social security. It's a very like US based formal thing, not fly by night kind of thing. And so a lot of people are in Coinbase.
There's no supervision, or there's no way they could steal the money.
No. It's very legit, very, very legit.
Okay, and
Best of luck. I'll send you
I
those
know where you
links.
live.
That's the worst part of it. I can't run away with your laptops. That was my plan all along.
Or my
Laptop,
wallet.
sorry, laptop. No, your wallet, actually, your wallet, I can't run off with. Because when you create a Bitcoin wallet, there's two parts for it. There's what's called a public key and a private key. And those are interrelated, but you never share your private key with anybody. You just share your public key. And your public key is just an address that you could paste, you could post on every street lamp.
You could deposit, but you can't withdraw.
Correct. So that's what you give us. You don't tell us your password or your private key or anything like that. You never tell that to anybody. You just tell us your public key, and that's where we that's where we used to do your payouts to your wallet. That's how we hit your wallet, but it's only one way in. It's not with that public key, you can't use it to do anything out.
You
So
give
it's extremely
referral
safe.
bonuses too?
We're gonna have referral bonuses set up in the portal, I hope within the next couple of weeks, but they're gonna be like get $10, give give and get $10 kind of things. That kind of order of magnitude,
You should give Moshe one.
I'll give him a few bottles of Golab. Ask him why Golab when you see him. Ask him why, he'll tell you. You'll get a kick out of it. It's a good story.
Okay.
And then he'll tell you, I call him Golab Boy with one B, Golab Boy. He'll tell you why.
Okay. What is that, his AOL name or something?
No. Ask him. It's a good story. It's a story.
Okay.
It takes about 10 minutes. For me to deliver, it's about 10 minutes. For him, it might be 3 or 4.
And shul next week, Linda.
Shavua tov, thank you for your time.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Good night. Regards to your gentleman.